Hello, welcome to my channel, Wing Spiritual Clarity. My name's Wendy Wing. I'm doing a psychic tarot reading for you, tuning into the day's energy, seeing what divine messages of guidance come through. This is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. All right, thank you. I want to announce once again the healer class starting June 6th to the 27th, Mondays, 4 to 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. This class stands on its own, or you can use this healer online intro class as an introduction and the way into the psychic school, Wing Spiritual Clarity Psychic School. So in the first month of classes, you learn what's yours, what's your energy, what's not. You learn how to create and destroy. You learn how to set up your energy and remove what's not for you. As an empath, this was such an important class for me to take. So I was less porous and energies weren't just coming in and out. I could recognize what's mine and what's not, and learn to hold my own space, sovereignty. So, also in this class, you learn energetic separations, day one, even how to get me, your teacher, out of your energy. You learn how to do energetic separations and clearing energetic cords. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in, there's a link in the description box below. That'll take you to my website where there's more information. There's even a couple videos. I just put a new one out that details this class thoroughly. And if this sounds like something you're interested in, chances are you're getting intuitive hit. Most of the people that have taken this class that really love it, they got an intuitive hit. They were like, I'm signing up. This sounds wonderful. And I too, when I was taking these classes 11 years ago, thank you. It was my intuitive hit. I was like, I'm curious. I want to follow this curiosity and see where this leads me. So, all right, enough of the class. Let's get into this tarot reading. Thank you. All right. Let's turn the cards over, see what we're working with. We have two different packets of information. We've got the Knight of Wands in reverse with the Moon card. Oh, and then we've got the Ace of Wands with the Six of Wands. Feels like these are two different energies, two different maybe people in these energies. Let's start with the Knight of Wands in reverse, with the Moon card. Okay. Knight of Wands in reverse is a very inconsistent energy. This is someone who very inconsistently goes after what they desire. They don't know how to build a fire and maintain that consistent energy. My eye's twitching. That's why I'm holding it. Very inconsistent, hot and cold. This feels like someone who follows shiny objects. They don't know how to maintain a spark, how to create their own spark and their own solar plexus. This feels like someone they'll something will come in and they'll be all excited about it, but they go after it, but they do it in such a inconsistent and reckless way. It's without any grounding too. This feels, with the Moon, it feels very confusing for this person. It feels like there's a lot hidden that this person keeps purposefully hidden in their subconscious, in their unconscious. And they don't want to take the time that it requires to dive into their subconscious, to dive into that darkness and find the light in that, in their emotions. This feels like someone who also is very uncomfortable with emotions. This feels like someone very reckless, inconsistent, going after shiny objects. All right, what do we need to know about this Knight of Wands in reverse and the Moon card? All right. Three of Pentacles, Emperor reversed with the King of Swords and Eight of Swords. This could be someone you work with. With the Emperor in reverse, it feels like someone very controlling. So they don't know how to harness, how to maintain their own fire, their own desire, their own. And with the Emperor in reverse, Aries energy, very fiery, but they don't know how to maintain their own fire. They're using control and manipulation. Oh, so they're harnessing other people. They're controlling others to create this fire. It feels like there's a promise to work with others, but then the person's alone. So it looks like this energy comes in. It's very hidden with the Moon. Very hidden. I don't feel like this person even is very conscious of what's happening, this type of energy. They don't know how to maintain their own fire, their own desire. They're riddled with fear, and they need to use fear and control and manipulation because they don't have their own solar plexus. So it feels like they sign people up. You know, we're going to work together. This could be romance. This could be friends. This could be work. This is just an energetic type that I'm tuning into. And it looks like there's promise of working together, of collaboration, but then there's a disappearing. And then they use other people's energy because they don't have their own. They're not willing to take the time to cultivate and learn how to use their own energy, what's really powerful. So they hoodwink others into providing supply. Solar plexus chakra is right where your ribs meet, inside in the center of your body, where your ribs meet. It's your personal power. And it looks like this person, this type of energy, does not know how to run their personal power. I'm seeing a lot of energetic cords. So this person cords people and people cord this person. It's a very insecure person. They need to be perceived as in control and being a leader, but they are powerless without the people that are powering them, that are giving away their power to this person. All right, and then the King of Swords, Eight of Swords. Feels like the truth can come in and you can set yourself free, whoever is blinded. And Eight of Swords, this person has got a blindfold on and they feel stuck, tied down. But when you really look, they can set themselves free. But there's some type of mental block, swords, upper chakras, that's keeping this person stuck. whatever lies, deception, manipulation that they told to get you to work and collaborate. You think you're working with this person, but you're just working for. And there's some belief systems that are being cleared, it feels like, with the King of Swords coming out. Cutting through those limiting beliefs, feeling that you need this person, that this is as good as it gets. Three of Pentacles, working for someone else kind of energy. All right, and then we've got in the overall energy the Ace of Wands and the Six of Wands. I'm seeing that the Ace of Wands comes first, following your excitement. It's just a spark. It's not going to last. If you want to build a fire, you've got to figure out how to take a spark and add more to it and keep that burning. And it looks like whoever I'm talking to, you have with the Six of Wands. You've learned how to follow your excitement just for the joy of it. Not with any expectations that it lead to anything, but just for the joy of the experience of it. What's interesting is I've practiced this. I was curious when I heard Bashar talking about following your highest excitement without any need for an outcome, but just doing it for the joy of it. And it is a tool, a permission slip, if you will, that has really worked for me. And some of those sparks do lead to something wonderful that's huge and wonderful, like following my excitement with learning tarot, with learning these psychic school tools so I can open a school. But there's a lot of intuitive hits, excitement that doesn't lead to anything more than just soul-fulfilling experiences. Ease in my day, in my day-to-day, getting an intuitive hit and going outside, and right then amazing animals show up, wonderful experiences. So I get to have those wonderful experiences for the experience of them, for the joy of them. And then some experiences that I follow have led to greater. I keep following that excitement, not needing to know if it'll work or not, but just enjoying the journey of it. When I'm in this space, this is one of my favorite spaces to be in. I feel like I'm fully myself. I'm where I want to be. And I think it comes off, it shows in my energy that I'm not doing this to get to something else. I'm doing this because I love doing this. Because there's nowhere else I'd rather be right here, right now, sharing these messages with whoever's listening. So, and I think there's an authenticity and a natural flow when you follow your highest excitement. And it leads to a glow up, to success. People wondering how you did that. Instead of giving your energy away in toxic systems to other people. And it feels like that leads to a lot of dependence, codependency. And what the other message is freedom. Ace of Wands again with the Two of Pentacles. All right. Also, once I started following my excitement, when was that? That was, I think that was around 2019. I started hearing these messages around following your excitement, following your own excitement. And it created change within me, change in my environment. Why is the Two of Pentacles here? Juggling. Okay, Queen of Wands coming out as a challenge to the Two of Pentacles. Oh, all right. So when you follow your highest excitement, there are those who don't want you to follow your highest excitement. They don't want you to make... They don't want you to hear this information. And they definitely don't want you to change. It feels like these energies are very interlinked. And if you're in a toxic system, supplying energy for someone else, giving all your energy, your solar plexus, instead of following your intuitive hits for yourself, giving your power away to someone else, they're not going to like when you make these changes. When you pull your energy away and stop giving it to them, then it looks like there's a lot of trying to manage, trying to get you back, trying to make you feel vulnerable so you don't do this. There's this delusion of protection under this system. And so you need to stay if you want to be protected, but it's not conducive to protection at all. It actually is a very toxic and debilitating system. Your energy starts being exhausted and drained. You're not meant to give your energy to others in this toxic, chronic way. And so it looks like systems want to maintain the system, even if it's toxic, distorted system. If you follow your excitement out of that system, it feels like they will try to make you feel as vulnerable and unprotected as possible. Try to make you feel other you, that you don't fit in, which is, yeah, right. Leaving a toxic system. Tell me more about this Queen of Wands as a challenge to this energy. Okay. There's a need. The Queen of Wands is comfortable with being herself. She follows her passions and desires. She doesn't know what she's doing fully. She knows that she owns her mistakes. That makes her very powerful in a system where nobody has any accountability. So owning your mistakes, owning your shadow, carrying the light, going after what delights and lights you up, inspires you, excites you. If you can't reach inspiration or excitement, when I first started following this, I would reach for curiosity. What am I curious about? What am I interested in learning? And follow that. There's something about just being yourself, owning who you are, all parts. When you own your shadow, when you own the parts of yourself that are seen as bad, when you can hold space for your shadow, then people can't manipulate you through your shadow. All right, anything else? It also feels like People, if you try to leave these toxic systems, there's some type of financial trying to juggle, trying to keep you in the system, maybe by destabilization as well. These are just emotionally immature energies. Unapologetic, shallow. They haven't met themselves in any deep and profound way. And it feels like they're having a tantrum when you leave because they can't control you. And on some level, these energies recognize that even though they have torn you down, dismantled, made you believe that you are incapable, on some level they realize that they depend on your energy, on sourcing. Probably lots of people source immature energies. People who are parading as an emperor in reverse, needing to be the boss, but really at the heart of it, they're I heard an effing child. Stunted. I'm getting Lord Farquaad type of energy off of this. All right, let's see what's hidden. We've got the King of Pentacles in reverse. This is someone who wants to be perceived a certain way, as really good at what they do, really abundant, stable, but they're not willing to put in the work to become that. It's an illusion. It's a delusion. It's more concerned with appearances, with optics, than really being stable and secure. It takes a lot of effort to be a King of Pentacles. Grit, determination, know-how, knowing what to focus on. It takes time to create that stability in the 3D. I'm also getting with the King of Pentacles in reverse, a lack of tradition. There's something maybe new coming in, innovative, not traditional. Knight of Cups in reverse. So someone shows up in their King of Pentacles reverse saying, I'm this, I'm that, and it's a delusion, it's a false reality, it's a lie. They're not good with money. They're not good with finances. They talk a good game. They might look successful, or there's successful potential here, but it's delusion. It looks like they sell a fantasy, a false reality of who they are, of what they're capable of and what they're willing to do. It doesn't feel like this energy is willing to do any of the real work to become the King of Pentacles upright. They create a false illusion to hook people in and to this, work with me, this will be great, but then they disappear. As soon as they've got you, there's supposed to be two other people on this card, and it feels like you're left alone doing all the work. And this person's controlling, using fear, manipulation, control. It looks like you're alchemizing this, alchemizing the way this type of energy accesses you. So you might look around stability. Do I have beliefs that I need others? I need someone else to create stability for me. Women might have that belief that was pounded in that you need a man. Men, you might have different beliefs, what you need that made you susceptible to someone's illusions, delusions, fantasies. I'm getting for the gendered men out there that it might be that partners might tell you, might get in your ego, amp you up, create a false, might play with your ego. And all right, so this has been the mechanism, because why would anyone of their right mind work for someone else and not, and give their energy away, give their time, their care, money, finances, work, labor, emotional labor, mental labor, sexual labor? No one would sign up for this unless there was, in what's hidden, a false illusion, a delusion, a fantasy. Maybe you, viewer, have some fantastic fantasy type of ways of believing that make you susceptible. It looks like this is coming up so you can alchemize that, so you can clear away fantasy. No longer susceptible to delusions. It looks like you're balancing that, bringing that back into balance. You're getting out of a comfort zone. You're facing your fears. Getting out of whatever comfort zone this is for you. It's Nine of Swords is so painful, but there's this, he's in bed, so it's kind of comfortable, but it's so painful. 9 swords worth of pain and fear, keeping you stuck thinking, well, this is Groundhog's Day. I know what to expect. So there's nothing new coming in, no worries. I know exactly how painful my day is going to be. When you finally get to 9 of Swords in reverse, you get out of that comfort zone. You're willing to face your fears. A lot of times it takes the 10 of Swords to get someone out of that 9 of Swords, out of a comfort zone, a definite ending. It looks like you're not waiting for the 10 of Swords. It looks like whoever I'm talking to, we've got 8 of Swords, 9 of Swords reversed. You're seeing things. It feels like you've already seen and have the clarity, and now you're cutting out what doesn't work and willing to face your fears. You're using your High Priestess energy, your intuition to make moves, to alchemize, face your fears, and it feels like slow going when you leave these type of environments, and trusting your intuition. You have unlimited potential. The High Priestess keeps things to herself too. Keep your moves hidden. Keep them to yourself. This isn't about your ego and trying to get people to see you in a different way. This is tactics. Feels like you're very intuitive. You've got this unlimited potential. There's no roof over her head. And she's between the dark and the light. She's balanced in that space. She understands her dark energy, so people can't manipulate her through her unexamined shadow, because she's examined her shadow. All right. Let's move on to the outcome and advice. Judgment. Page of Cups in reverse. Here's that immature energy again, and then the Ace of Pentacles. 3 aces in your reading. 2 Ace of Wands and an Ace of Pentacles. Feels like by following your excitement, you're leading yourself to new pathways, new energies in the 3D. They're just seeds of potential. but it looks like you have a calling. Judgment. Someone calling you. Light of consciousness hitting your crown chakra, bringing you to a different level of awareness. You've been in a smaller, confined place, and this is expansive energy. You don't have to live like this. You have a choice. Two of Pentacles. You can make a choice. You can make a different choice. And how you do that is follow your highest excitement. Cut out what doesn't work for you. Who, what, King of Swords, energy. And then in what's hidden, keeping your moves hidden. This isn't about your ego. This isn't about a story. This is about navigation, getting away, getting out of, clearing those delusions and illusions and the way people have been able to access you and get you stuck working for them, have them perceiving that you don't have enough, that you're somehow unprotected and vulnerable. Clearing that. It feels like you're also getting better judgment. And definitely seeing this Page of Cups in reverse energy more. All right, the Page of Cups in reverse is in Nine of Pentacles reverse. They don't know how to create independence for themselves, stability, security, and they depend on others. Five of Swords on the top of the deck. They're a bully, demanding your energy, your time, your labor, your care. This is someone who can't do it for themselves. And I think that's at the heart of all this, is that they're showing up as Emperor reverse, as someone very controlling, manipulative. They might be in powerful positions, but they're really just these wildly insecure, immature, stunted, emotionally, shallow, lack of empathy. The thing is, on some level, they know that they can't reach independence on their own. They can't do this on their own without the manipulation. All right, tell me more about the Ace of Pentacles, the new opportunity. Ooh, Ace of Pentacles in reverse. This is sifting and sorting. These are seeds. You're figuring out right now in the new 3D, new energy, seeds, what you want going forward and plant those seeds. And what you don't want, don't plant those seeds. Seems pretty easy. So if you don't like control and manipulation, then you don't plant seeds of control and manipulation. If you don't want punishment and cruelty, then you don't plant seeds of punishment and cruelty. You plant seeds of equanimity, balance, harmony, joy, ease. Whatever it is that you bring, viewer, your unique, what you want. Be mindful of what seeds you are planting. And then water those seeds. So, all right, that's your message. I hope this is helpful. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great day.